Welcome to the Leadership Spark Podcast, where we equip you to be the great leader your people deserve. This is Corey. Today I'm going to continue talking a little bit about feeling overwhelmed as a leader. Maybe you have felt overwhelmed as a leader. I know I have. A lot of times I feel overwhelmed as a leader. This week I felt overwhelmed as a leader. And the question isn't, will you feel overwhelmed? It's what do you do when you do feel overwhelmed? And so yesterday we talked about it. Today we're going to talk about it again, and we're going to talk about this idea of doing less. Yeah, maybe you need to do less as a leader, but you also need to do these 6 things better. And if you do these 6 things better, it's going to unlock opportunity for you to deal with overwhelmed. Because when you feel overwhelmed, the temptation may be, I just need to work harder. I need to work more, and I need to work harder. And that isn't always the case. That can actually have an adverse effect and make you feel more overwhelmed. It really means maybe you need to spend time protecting your focus and your energy a little bit better so that you can point your focus and your energy toward the things that really matter that will help alleviate the pressure that you feel when feeling overwhelmed. So I want to share with you 6 things that you can do better when overwhelm shows up. And if you do one or more of these 6 things, it will help you when you feel overwhelmed as a leader. The first one is this: make it easier to think. A lot of times we get overwhelmed because there's so much going on. We are overwhelmed by the number of Slack messages we get, the number of text messages we get, the number of meetings that we're in, our to-do list. Whenever we look at that, maybe we don't have a to-do list. So it's in our brains and we feel this cognitive overload, and it makes it really, really hard to think. Context switching, we're just switching context left and right, and our brain feels, even though we may not be working as many hours, feels overloaded and overworked. And so we need to be able to make how we think easier. How do we start to measure how many decisions we need to make, or the context that we're working in, and start to mitigate that a little bit to help manage all the different things that are causing potentially cognitive overload? And we're just thinking too much. We need to make thinking easier. Second is that let's make priorities visible again. And so if you feel overwhelmed, there's a good chance that your priorities are not clear. If you feel overwhelmed, there's a good chance that your priorities are not clear, maybe for you or for your team. And so I think it's important to repeat them. Have a system that you have to be able to understand what is the most important thing for you to do today. Write it down. Hopefully the system is either something you write down or a tool that you use. Say them, maybe even say them out loud. Clarity reduces pressure. So go get clarity for yourself when it comes to what's important and what your priorities are. Number 3, switch how you think and not just what you do. Step away, walk, change environments, go work at a coffee shop, go work at a different desk or workstation, go take a walk, whatever it is that you need to do to be able to activate a different part of your brain, a different part of your thinking system to help you see actually what matters. There's so many times I will go outside, I will take a walk when I feel overwhelmed, and I will start to get clarity. Things will start to crystallize for me. And it all came from changing the environment that I was in. So change the environment, switch how you think, not just what you do. Number 4, delegate with real authority. Overwhelm can linger whenever delegation is vague. And maybe you struggle with delegation, and that's something that we're going to tackle in future Leadership Spark podcasts. But how can you make sure there's clear ownership and authority? If you delegate something, there's ownership, but also people have authority to be able to do what you're asking them to do. And that's the fastest way to lighten your load, is whenever you do that for someone else. Number 5, take better breaks, not longer ones. You don't need a longer break. You need a better break. Maybe that's when you take breaks during a day. Maybe there are intense moments or emotional depletion that's happening from a meeting that you were just in or a hard conversation that you just had. That's the moment to take a break. It may not be the normal time you take a break, and it may not be a long break, but it's a chance for you to take a break. 5 minutes now can save hours later. And so take the 5 minutes to take the mental break and the physical break whenever you need it. 6, and the last one here, is push back strategically. Know how to push back strategically. Saying no isn't resistance, it's leadership. So know when to say no, know when to say yes. So if you learn how to do that, then your yeses will be more powerful and your no's will free you up not to feel as much overwhelmed. You're not just protecting your time, you're protecting your energy, you're protecting your focus. Ultimately, you're protecting the outcomes that you are trying to drive as a leader. And so here's the key takeaway over the last couple of days. Overwhelm is not a failure to lead. Overwhelm is not a personal flaw that you have. It's a leadership design problem. There's something that you can design into the way that you lead that can help you whenever you feel overwhelmed. And design problems, the cool thing about those is that they can be fixed, and they can be fixed really fast. And so hopefully this helped to stimulate some thoughts. And so the go and do is pick one of these. What is one of these that you can practice in a regular manner that will help you whenever you feel overwhelmed? And maybe that helps mitigate some of that, or at least decrease the amount of time you feel overwhelmed. Normally you would feel overwhelmed for days, and this maybe gets it down to minutes if you practice one of these or more of these 6 things that I shared today.